Good afternoon, good morning. Mark Johnson from Loyalty 360. Today we're going to be sharing another preview session from the upcoming Loyalty Expo 2026, taking place May 12th to 14th in Orlando, Florida. To share a preview of what attendees can expect from the session, today we're joined by Don Smith, Global Chief Consulting Officer at Capillary Technologies. Hi Don, how are you today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
To start off, can you give us a quick preview of what you'll cover during your masterclass session at the Loyalty Expo?
Woo! We are ready to do another masterclass at Loyalty Expo. This year, our title is Beyond Points Toward Purpose, Closing the Aspiration Execution Gap in Emotional Loyalty. What we're really going to do is dive into a theme. We've seen right now, let's face it, loyalty programs have never been more sophisticated, with more special features, more perks, more going on, and thoughtfully created. And yet, member disengagement has probably never been more acute as this moves through. And I think there's a paradox here. Brands articulate this deep vision of emotional connection, but the lived program experience is telling a different story. In our session, we're briefly going to go through, what is emotional loyalty? How can we measure it? How can we define it? And then we'll look at the trends that are enabling emotional loyalty, but very, very practical. We are focused on actionable trends. And in fact, we're going to take brands through a playbook that is designed. Here's things you can do with your business as usual data assets that you've got under the hood of your program right now. And here's some campaigns that you can get into market. And we know for a fact that those campaigns drive desired behaviors and emotional connections. And you ought to be doing them. So I think it's very practically focused. And to marshal support for our thesis that in fact we are seeing this disconnect between aspiration and execution, we are going to debut the results of our syndicated BLQ study. BLQ is the Balanced Loyalty Quotient, our measure of rational and emotional loyalty. We have funded a huge study. It's in market right now. And the study is really focused on looking at the top 50 or so brands in the U.S. We've got a sample of almost 20,000 panel respondents. We're going all out, and we're scoring all of those brands on rational and emotional loyalty, but we're digging deeper. And we're also asking questions of their members about what the lived program experience is. Are they aware of the benefits? Do they know what tier they're in? Does it meaningful to them? Are they taking advantage of what's there? Or is it largely a mystery? And we're going to correlate those responses with the level of affect they have to the brand. We've got the study in market right now. The results, the preliminary results as they're coming in are already telling that story. So I think we're going to be able to back up our claims with some practical insights from a very large sample that solves problems of statistical significance that have plagued almost every other type of study in the market.
A core tenet of the session is understanding how brands can build stronger emotional connections with their customers. From your perspective, what are some of the most common ways brands fall short when trying to create emotional loyalty, and why can those gaps be difficult for teams to recognize and or address?
Well, those are two separate but related questions. And I think, where brands fall short is we already have a ton. If you have a loyalty program, the chances are very good you have a ton of data signals that you ought to be using to truly personalize the experience and make it authentic. Yet it's amazing how many brands fall short of that standard, right? If I know that I've been shopping, or customer X has been shopping with my brand for 10 years, and I have her purchase history, I know everything she's bought and when, what she likes and what she doesn't like. And if I happen to have some profile data as well, which more and more brands are doing, where she has provided information about herself and her household and her life and her interest and her preferences, there is so much there under the hood that can be tailored into a personalized marketing routine that lives beyond the transaction. And we have a rule at Capillary. When we look at different programs, we absolutely want to see campaigns and messages that are loyalty beyond the transaction. They have nothing to do with asking a customer to shop another time, to spend another time. We want to advocate for them on their journey. We want to help them with products they've purchased and use them better. We want to help them plan. We want to solve friction points. We want them to be successful with the stuff they buy. And I think the more that you do that, the more you can build an emotional connection. It has never been easier with predictive AI and generative AI to do this and to craft meaningful campaigns. Yet really most brands are falling short of that. And that's the first big miss, is they're not using what's under their hood, and spray and pray is still the norm. And that is not what we need. We need communications bespoke and tailored and respectful to customers, because when you do that and advocate on behalf of a customer, she or he will advocate on behalf of you, and you'll drive that meaningful connection. So I think that's one particular area. And I think the reason that folks often, I don't know that marketers aren't aware of this. I think they are, and they probably see it in their voice of customer research, but I think there are myriad pressures that are driving some of these behaviors. There's still a tendency for lots of different groups in an organization to want to constantly blast communications, promote new products, exhaust their budgets for marketing. And that becomes tricky when you're trying to optimize and create a communications cadence that feels a little bit more purposeful and respectful and meaningful. And so those cross pressures are always there. But there's no time like the present. The good news from what we're going to do in this workshop is say, don't boil the ocean. Don't try to do 6,000 campaigns. Here's easy ones to get you started. Try these and get going with them. Do a few, see what happens, track it, and you'll get better and better at it as you go. And I think that's really the point, is iterative wins the day, but spray and pray loses every time.
Who do you think would benefit most from attending this session? And what is one practical takeaway you hope those in customer loyalty or in marketing will walk away from your session as they evaluate their own customer loyalty strategies?
I think anyone who does loyalty or loyalty marketing or CRM or engagement will benefit from this. Really, these are marketing professionals. Ideally, these are people who are working on programs or working on customer communications or experiences, right? Because it is really designed with them in mind. But I think it should be of interest to anyone, especially as we go through some of our survey results and insights. I think it'll be of interest to anyone who studies marketing and consumer behavior. The clear takeaway for me is that, we've all seen workshops that can be too academic. I come from academia myself. Our goal is to actually provide a playbook at the end of this. Here is practical advice that you can walk away with, and something you could start to get on your calendar tomorrow without having to need to create something that's completely brand new and requires a whole apparatus and disrupts your marketing calendar. Our goal is to find simple tactics that can be mapped into your existing communications plan and customer experience plan so that you can do something and get better at doing more and more and more.
Well, Don, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with us today. We look forward to hearing more from you during the session at the Loyalty Expo 2026 in May.
Looking forward to another great show.
Listeners, for more information about the Loyalty Expo, including the full conference agenda and registration details, please visit loyaltyexpo.com. We look forward to seeing everyone in Orlando. Until then, have a wonderful day.